God damn it. It's probably easier to adjust this than my dang camera holder thing. I need to just man up and get a real one. Okay. So this is going to be very, very similar to the last video I made, and it's because I've changed these two. So this was just a kind of a placeholder prior, but now it's an attenuator. So I have an LFO here, DivKid Ochd, which is awesome. So it'll send to here. I'll adjust the amount of voltage I want it to go with, and then send it here. Also, there's another aspect of, let me see, do I have enough space for the, alright, how about this one? Nope, I'm just gonna go through. Hey, that one maybe worked. Sample already loaded. Okay, so a thing I kind of didn't go over. So this is the first sample you loaded, and this is the second, and now this is okay, maybe it just can't do that. If it's a smaller sample, because all my samples are really big. What am I doing? Anyways, so usually if you turn past all of the samples, the next turn is all the samples in one. I don't know why that would be useful. I guess I could see some aspects, but I've never had a, I don't know. There's some limitations with it. There's a couple cons with this. Let me talk about cons real quick. When you load up, you have to put everything you want. So like if you wanted something to load automatically, you can't do that. Same thing with the settings. You have to adjust them every single time. That's okay. Also, when you are playing, you can't, there's nothing that sets it on go. Like you can't just straight play through the sample. I think that'd be a pretty cool aspect. Maybe like a play and a reverse. I've never really used record. I just put the sample here. Otherwise, I really, really like this module. And honestly, those are barely drawbacks. If this is something that you're like interested in, you should find one of these. I think they're pretty rare. I don't think there's ever been a firmware release like past version 1. I wonder if in like 10 or 20 years, someone will watch this video and be like, well, geez, this is old. I don't know. Okay, so let's make some sounds. So first off, here's our normal path. So this was it was a wave that I made for it's a YouTuber, North02, I believe. North. He does cool documentary stuff, and so I believe that I used this in something, and I made this for him specifically. That's the name. I didn't want it to be too like epic. It had to be kind of background music. Usually when I do that, there's 4 chords, but did not appear to be that. Okay. So that's North 1, apparently. And, this should not be doing that. Okay, oh, here's something. Here's something to think about. It's not exactly a con, it's just it's more of a manual sort of thing. So, I'm gonna set the sample, because I did click some buttons. I'm not sure if that affected it. If you name your files too long, it will just become static here, and that's just like an operating thing. And I think that if there was another firmware release, that would be fixed. So I'm gonna reload this one, and I believe it was vocal 0. I'm gonna see if that actually loads without, like, I touched it, and then it just said loaded, but it didn't go through the whole process. So I'm curious if that will change here. Okay, so I'm using 93% of the RAM or whatever is in there. Okay, so this is way different than last time. So don't click any buttons when you're loading something. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use a slow LFO. So this is 8 LFOs, and I'm gonna put it at the start. And so in theory, it'll move it on its own, right? But if I put it at a correct speed, also I believe these 8 LFOs, they like connect somehow, and they're not all the same. Like if I got another module like this, it'd be similar, but probably very similar, but not exactly the same. So if I hit play, so to me that's too fast. I heard she came in like a wrecking ball. So here's what an attenuator does, and I'm sure you know this because you're probably a nerd like me, right? Right. So if I move the start point to where you guys can see, so see how the blue line is moving? I'll just take out the start for just a moment. Alright, so this is what we're looking at, moving the range, and that's the current range. So no matter what speed I put it at, although it's probably not the right, there's something weird, something sexual about this. Okay, let's slow that down. Okay, so it goes out to about here, right? But now, if I turn this and I attenuate it down to about 1/4, there you go. And then if I attenuate it farther, because this is a full signal, this is an attenuator for whatever you put in here, and this is the speed of, you go max, and that's just crazy, right? It's not gonna really, to me, I kind of wish this went slower. And then I'm going to attenuate this down to about 1/4, I think. And this does the same thing, in out attenuator. This is a passive module. I actually built a attenuator box, but I feel like this is just really fitting with this. Like these two kind of go together. So the range, it'll play anything between those two. So it takes a grain from the two. Thank you. Between those, the red and the blue line, which you can change on here. what it's got, it's gonna go back to the start point, but then it's gonna like on the amount of. So I think a cool thing we could do would be, I'm gonna take a pretty fast LFO in. Attenuate it down pretty quickly, or whatever, I don't know, a lot. And then I'm going to send it to density. So if we have no density, we have no grains being picked up, right? But if we have this, so when this brightens up, you should hear a grain taken, right? But if we open up the attenuator, and also it's additive. Okay. That was enough of that, for sure. Alright, moving over to... I want to try this with one that I know I'll use. And we'll probably demonetize this video. Oh well. I'll cut this out if it didn't work. Alright. So, let's see. This one. Let's go to a slower. What did I just do? Wrong one. Ooh, that's intense. I'm gonna add some reverb. I don't think I can go any slower than that, to be honest. It's interesting. Still really cool though. Like, you can see how they kind of play with each other. Okay. This is a much better setup than like the Sloth and a Malt. I literally have a Malt just like attached to the side that I cut a hole in. Which is a good and a bad thing. If you cut holes in all your cases, which I do, just know that they stick out a little bit. So this is short enough to fit in here because this sticks out a little bit. So this wouldn't be able to fit to the edge, and then so I kind of lost 2 HP over here if I wanted it. But this is a little small module. It's passive. Like you can literally make this just right now if you want to. Just Google or YouTube attenuator, and it's a potentiometer between a circuit, an in and out. Super easy. Malts are super easy. I use these two all the time in everything I make. Anyways, so I just wanted to check that out. I think this is a good mix. This is a really cool module. This is a really cool module. This is a necessary utility if you want it in 2 HP, because I wouldn't be able to make something in 2 HP. Probably. I feel like I'd make it out of like an aluminum thing, like a or tin. Yeah, like like 2 layers of tin. I don't know. It wasn't expensive or anything, so just something to think about. Alright, cool. Let Louis play out in the lowest possible setting. So good. So now it'll hold for a moment, but then it'll go back. I'm curious how long the hold will take. It's gorgeous. Alright, thanks for watching.